Hello, folks, and welcome to this episode of Profit Easy One. Of course, with this pandemic still going on, that's what I'm going to be talking about again right now. And I'm going to give you ways to cut your odds of getting this virus, and not through the standard ways that everybody's telling you, but through the use primarily of medicinal herbs. Now, I want to say, man, y'all need to take this virus serious. And this video is especially, my heart goes out to all you people in the medical profession. I just shipped herbs to Hawaii yesterday to someone who's in that field. And the other day she had to test like 58 people for the virus. And I don't know how well they're protected, but now she's concerned, and she should be. In fact, let me show you something here. I did some charts last week here. Let me see if we can go through this. Of course, now it's all gone off the charts now, so I had to redo them because this only covered up to 770,000 dead. And this is how the chart went. This is from May 3rd to several days ago, because as you see, it went off the chart. So I did a new one with new scales. But here's the thing, too. Here's the deaths. Same thing. They're just going off the chart. You see that? And it's not going to stop, folks. What's going to happen is eventually the infection rate will slow down. The death rate will continue to climb for probably weeks after that, because this virus is very insidious. You know, you can have it for days, a week, even longer, not know you have it. And then, boy, then it can get really bad. I mean, this thing, and most of the deaths don't occur until 3.5 weeks after somebody's gotten it. So that's why I say, even once the infections start to level out, the deaths, because they're 3 weeks behind, they're still going to be high. Eventually, that'll level out too, and they'll come down. But that's not ready to happen anytime yet. And there's a lot more people out there infected than what the media will show you, because a lot of them, they don't know. They're pretty much only going by those who've actually been tested. And of course, we've had such a shortage of tests. And I know some people here who were tested, but they didn't have the right test. All right. So anyway, I changed the scale, and I redid this on the infections. Now it's going up to 1,700,000. And you know, folks, we're going to be past that in no time. I mean, yeah, at this rate, another couple days, we're at 1,334,000, something like that right now. Yeah, it's only pretty soon. In a couple more days, this thing will be off the charts, even though I made it to a much bigger scale. Like I said, the other one went to 770,000. This goes to 1,700,000. It won't be long. It'll be off the chart. And once again, here's the deaths. Now, and this will go up to 120,000. But the same thing, you see? They're just steadily, back from March 3rd up until yesterday. This is where it is now. And it's going, folks. So take this thing serious. And I'm going to tell you, and based on these and my other information, the way that you actually figure out the death rate on this, and I keep telling people this, and nobody's really doing it but me. You cannot take the amount of infections or deaths and compare that to the amount of infections. Because those people who are infected, they're either going to die or they're going to recover. So that's not a good comparison. What you have to do is take the amount of people who've recovered. You add that to the amount of people who've died. Now, this is the amount of people who have been through it. Those who've recovered and those who have died. Not those who are infected. They haven't been through it yet. A lot of them, 3 weeks from now, they already have a death sentence on them. They just don't know it yet. And it's tragic. It really is. But, all right, let's get into some things here. Because I really feel bad for these doctors and nurses. They're going to work scared every day. Hey, I got to give them credit, I mean, they've got their jobs. They go to school. A lot of people are quitting the profession because they're scared. They got families. They're afraid they're going to come home and infect their families, and I don't blame them. My mother was taken away in an ambulance yesterday. And I still haven't heard back. I don't know what's up. And this was early yesterday, and here it is late in the afternoon. We don't think that it was a coronavirus, but the problem is once she gets in the hospital, that's where she's likely to catch it at. And in the shape she's in and at her age and all the medication she's on, if she gets it, my mom's going to be probably in these statistics. So people, don't take this lightly. Stay at home if at all possible. You know, when you go out to get things, especially things you know you're going to need and use, get extra. Cut your times out to the store in half. Do whatever you can. Make sure when you come home that you wash your hands. Do not touch your face, especially your eyes, your mouth. Don't eat something till after you've washed your hands. All right, now I want to get into how that you stop this virus from killing you or even infecting you if at all possible. You know, I can't believe that there's hardly anyone on the internet doing this. You know, you've got all these government organizations and politicians who want to push a vaccine, which is going to be a year and a half away if they can make one for it, which they're not going to. Hey, you know what they do? They give these pharmaceutical companies all this money because they say, yeah, we're gonna find a vaccine. Well, they did that for SARS. They did that for MERS. Give them all these millions and millions of dollars. Have they come up with a vaccine for those yet? No. Have they got one for the common cold? No. Are they going to have one for this? No. Your body works to give itself vaccines, basically. It does what a vaccine will do naturally on its own when you get the virus. There's no reason to put some bad things into your body to try to build an immunity. Especially when those things, like they say, these flus, they say, well, it changes every year. Yeah, that's their excuse. They can't keep up with it like that. This is a plague from God, actually. Okay, now, I want to go into, all right, you know, I've been selling these Kung Flu kits and something that helps get rid of this virus. These are the lung herbs that I have. Now, I keep selling out all these things, and I keep having to get more. And right now, I'm just about sold out again. In fact, I have only a couple of these left, and 2 of these are already pre-sold. So I want to encourage you to pay attention to this video and maybe some others. And if you haven't gotten these herbs from me yet, folks, you need to. These are for the lungs, because that's how this virus kills you primarily. Your lungs get filled with fluid, you're not getting oxygen, your heart can stop. I mean, it's bad. These things work wonders for your lungs. I have videos covering these, and maybe I'll cover them more in depth like I plan to do right now with this cold comfort, which I've covered on a couple of videos. I got into depth quite a bit on the echinacea that's in here. So let's go through some of these things that are in here, and I'm going to let you know how these work to get rid of this virus and to protect you. Now, it works by more than what I'm giving to give you here. I keep giving more and more in-depth information. Like I said, every time I usually bring up echinacea, I'll tell you some things, and the next time I brought it up, I've told more, and then I've told more and more. But I'm going to show you ways here with this video to reduce your chance of even catching the disease by over 70%, according to medical studies, with just a couple of things. That's all. And you reduce your chance of getting it by 70%. And even if you are exposed, you reduce the duration of the disease. And that's another thing that troubles me about this. Now, I've never heard them call any of the other flus, all the way back to Spanish flu, the ones in the 50s, 60s, and all the more recent ones, I never heard them call them a disease. I don't know why they named this coronavirus. They should have left with that, coronavirus 19. Why did they put disease in there? They don't do that with the other flus. I just want to point that out. They call this coronavirus disease. And this is a serious thing. This This virus is much more contagious than most, and that's what makes it bad. And then it has that, like I said, it's very insidious. It can be in your body for a while before you realize it. And meanwhile, you can be out infecting other people or even reinfecting yourself. Yeah. All right, so without getting too much into all of that, maybe we'll save those things for another video. But you do have to be careful. If you are sick, especially, you can keep reinfecting yourself. You can cough it up and get it somewhere and go get your hands on it, go touch your eyes, and now your immune system's already fighting them somewhere in your body. Now you introduce more to your body, and your immune system has to fight them. So be very careful, folks. Yes, especially if you live with others. I mean, that's what makes it even tougher. Every time someone goes out, you're wanted. It's like having sex with a bunch of partners when there's AIDS going around. You never know who might bring it to you. All right, now, so let's get into the ingredients that are in this cold comfort tea once again. But this time I haven't covered very well some of those ingredients. I have with the echinacea. So let's go ahead and start with that. Now this has two types of echinacea in there. There's 7 types of echinacea. 4 of them are somewhat useless as far as for treating diseases and stuff. They're probably not useless, but they're not worth using. Let's just put it that way. And the third one, see, the 2 that are in here have all kinds of great compounds, good for you. And we're going to get into a little bit of difference on them here in just a minute. But there is another echinacea, I forget what the Latin term for it is, which has pretty much the same compounds that are in these, except when it comes to a certain genre of compounds, it doesn't have those. So it's not going to work on certain conditions. Then again, because it doesn't have those compounds, it may have more of the other compounds, which would make it better for certain conditions. But when it comes to this flu virus, the ones you want are the 2 that are in here, Echinacea angustifolia and Echinacea purpurea. Now here's something I didn't mention when I was speaking about Echinacea before. These 2 work a little bit differently. Like I say, they have a whole lot of the same compounds, which, man, they work wonders for you, for your immune system. Maybe I'll get into that a little. I have a video that covers it a lot better. But the thing is, the Echinacea angustifolia works better with viruses, and the Echinacea purpurea works better with bacteriological infections. Now, why is that important here with coronavirus? Well, what's happening is, and this happened in the Spanish flu too, the people come in, they have a viral infection. Now, and the next thing you know, they develop a bacterial pneumonia. And wow, now you're in serious trouble. You're probably dead. Yeah, you have your death sentence already. But because this has things in there, one that is better for fighting viruses and one that's better for bacteria, it can be very helpful. And I mentioned before in another video why that I thought maybe some of that bacteria got there. And I still believe this. Number one, there's plenty of bacteria in hospitals. You know, and you're dealing with people who can't even change their garments like they normally would. So bacteria can easily be transmitted. Number 2 is when they put the breathing machine into you. If that thing isn't totally clean and germ-free, then you can pick up bacteria from that. They're going to give you the infection. But the other thing, the more thought I've given to it, what's happening there in your lungs is that you got these viruses in there, and your body's bringing out its troops to attack it. And basically, it's like in a military campaign. There is collateral damage. You know, just like in a war, there's collateral damage. Civilians get killed. And that's what this is like. There's a serious battle going on inside you. And between these viruses and your immune system. And meanwhile, there's cells in your body there, in your lungs, that are going to be getting damaged as a result of all of this. And that can lead to maybe thinning of the walls, maybe different things that can easily get infected. And so that's what happens. And that's why the echinacea purpurea is in here. Now, here's another thing. This is very important for you people, for everybody, but you people in the medical profession. This is very important for you. And check it out. I'm not going to read the studies and dig them up for you. You can do the studies on your own. And believe me, I've been studying these things for 18 years. But there's a study, a proven medical study, that shows that if you are taking echinacea, you're 58% less likely to catch a virus. So 58% less likely to catch it already. And if you do catch it, it's proven to shorten the duration of it by 1.4 days. Now, the sooner you catch the virus, the more effective it's going to work, and the shorter it's going to make the thing. I mean, generally, I've been using this since 2003 on all the viruses, and I've yet to be able to interview Joe, who's going to give testimony about him and his family, only because they locked down our city and because we knew that was happening. We both had so much to do for a couple of days. I will get with him. I think it's very important that you hear from him and not just from me. I would love to interview everybody I've ever treated, and there are other people now who are wanting to, but I'm waiting for certain things to happen, and I will get them on my channel. But so now you're 58% less likely just with that. All right, now I'm going to sidetrack just a little bit to show you how to be even less likely to catch this disease, and that if you catch it, to get it out of your system quicker. And that's by taking something that's not necessarily in here. But I want y'all to know this for your safety, especially you in the medical profession. You need to be taking vitamin D. Now, very few people get enough vitamin D. And vitamin D it's an immune builder, and it works quite well on your upper respiratory tract. Now, you can get vitamin D from the sun, which is the best way to get it. Your skin has basically sensors in it that react and cause your body to release the good vitamin D. Or you can do like I did. Yeah. I actually took 2 today instead of my normal 1. Take vitamin D supplements. Now, what happens is this vitamin D that's in here isn't really the vitamin D that your body uses to do these things. It is an immune builder. You have vitamin D receptors in all the cells in your body. Now, what happens when you take the vitamin D, once your liver metabolizes it, it changes it to a different compound. It's still a vitamin D. Let's just call it, this is D1. After it goes to your liver, it becomes D2. Then it goes to your kidneys. And once again, your kidneys cause chemical changes in it. That's what your liver and kidneys do. They take compounds and molecules and combine them with others, or strip certain things off of molecules and combine other things because they know what your body needs. Your body is just an incredible thing. You know, like God said, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And he says that the leaves of the trees are made for the healing of the nations. All right. So, vitamin D, very important. And like I said, then once it goes to your kidneys, it changes to the different vitamin D that your body needs, and it actually uses that to create a certain antibody. I forget the name of it. It's like chemo something. Excuse me. No, that's not the virus. But anyway, so take vitamin D, and here's what research has shown with vitamin D. You're at 18%. It was either 18 or 19% less susceptible to catching these respiratory viruses, and it'll get treated quicker. So now you can get 18% off of taking vitamin D, and you get 58% from the echinacea. Now you're at 76% less likely to even catch it. So I have to strongly recommend this, especially to people who are forced to be around it all the time. Yes, man, and I'm going to tell you, this stuff has worked. It takes 2 to 3 days with 2 cups of tea a day. It's worked for the other viruses. I don't see why it won't work for this, because as I've said, and I'll continue to say, there's nothing doctors can give you that's going to kill the virus off unless it's killing you off. Your own immune system is the thing that has to get rid of it. And that's why you take this, to boost your immune system. Now, let's get into some of the other herbs that are in here too, and some of the reasons why that they're in there. Now, this isn't totally in depth, but it gets pretty good, I guess. Now, so you have the Echinacea purpurea, the Echinacea angustifolia. Then we have catnip. Now, catnip, well, I can't even read my own writing here. Uh, One thing about it is it does relax you. It has its compounds in it, just like valerian root does, which is what they make Valium from. In fact, I don't know why I had this note here, but oh, I know why. We'll get into that in a minute. But so let's see. It helps reduce anxiety, which will help your mood, because if you have this thing, you don't need anxiety, because that's going to hurt your immune system even more. You know, you need to trust in God. That'll help keep you cool, calm, and collected. That's the best thing to do. All right, let's see. And well, catnip helps your upper respiratory, helps with upper respiratory tract infections and things like the flu and the cold. So catnip is in there. Now, how all of that works, I can't get into right now. I'd have to do more research, but I know that that's the things that it does. All right, now, then we get into the pepper. And by the way, catnip is a member of the mint family, which is also good. And we'll get into that here a little, because, see, this also has peppermint in it. Now, peppermint helps to relax your gut. It's a digestive aid. And what I've seen from so many of these people who have this virus, the last thing they want to do is eat. I mean, that girl who I interviewed, she said in 10 days she lost 10 pounds. She couldn't eat. You know, she got lots of fluids, but couldn't get or keep food down. So to have things that are going to help you to settle your stomach and to digest your food, that's good, because you got to get your nutrients in you. All right, let me see. Yeah, it's a muscle relaxer. Then the peppermint also does help with headaches. In fact, they make some peppermint rubs that I've used that you're supposed to put on your temples, and they reduce headaches. I've used them. I didn't find it to be very effective. In fact, the effectiveness they give is pretty small anyway. So I wouldn't use it for that so much. Don't go buy that stuff. Instead, get some other things that I have that will get rid of headaches, whether they're migraines, which you'd want feverfew for, or if it's just regular simple headaches, you're going to want to get a willow bark, which is what they make aspirin from. But the willow bark is much safer, and it's every bit as effective. It'll stop swelling in joints. It'll get rid of pain, and it's safe, and it's not all acid where it eats holes in your stomach. All right, yeah. Now, here's the thing about these mints, too. They have menthol in them, and menthol helps with your respiratory tract. I'm sure most of you, if you're old enough, when you used to get a cold or flu, your mom used to rub Vicks Vapor Rub on you, or you put it in a steamer pot and put a rag over your head and breathe the fumes in. That's because it helps. It actually it does some things to help with the mucus. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow, and even more too. That right now I don't recall all that well, but it has what it does basically is it helps to thin your mucus, and so your body has that mucus to trap viruses and bacteria and hopefully to help you expel them. And that's another thing that peppermint does. It's an expectorant. It helps to bring things up. You know, you have little hairs in your lungs that pull this stuff up, the cilia. And there's several herbs that'll affect those to make them more active, to help get the things out of your body. That's why I recommend these lung teas, too. All right, now. Yeah, it actually has 9 different expectorant compounds, things that'll help you to get stuff out. So it's good for that to be in here. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. All right. Now it also has and the peppermint too is antibacterial. They found it's very helpful with staphylococcus and pneumonia. Um, Asthma. and especially with bacterial pneumonia, because if it is antibacterial, and it's helpful with asthma and helping with a runny nose. So very good to have that peppermint in here. So many reasons. Now, it's also got chamomile, which, well, that helps you to relax and to sleep. It's got a couple of sedatives in it. It's loaded with antioxidants. And once again, it's very good for your digestion. It's great for ulcers. And they say that it actually also helps with cancer tumors. Now, I'm not going to give a lot of credit to that because there's so many other things that would be better for that. So you got the chamomile in there. And that chamomile has some, the antioxidants that are real powerful in there are called apigenins. Very powerful antioxidants. So that is very helpful too. You need lots of antioxidants, especially when your body's being attacked by something like this virus or a poison or a bacteria. All right, so what else we got? Well, it helps with blood sugar, helps to level it. Actually, it kind of works as a regulator, just like just like the hawthorn berry and astragalus does. It will help to regulate that on you. All right, it's good for your health, your heart health, and it's good for the common cold. So, in fact, when I was a kid growing up in Europe, that's what they would give you if you had a cold as a child. They would give you chamomile tea and then tell you to sweat it out. Yep, that's what they do. Chamomile tea with some honey in a blanket. All right, so yeah, and it's got lots of flavonoids that are also powerful antioxidants. Like I said, antioxidants, very important when your body is under stress or distress. And antioxidants can help prevent diseases and help you to live longer. All right, now, it also has strawberry leaf in it. Now, strawberry leaf is, it can help as a laxative. It works with night sweats. That's why, and it causes hormonal changes. In fact, that's what vitamin D does. Vitamin D basically is a hormone, and it causes changes to happen in your body. Well, so does strawberry leaf. And that's why it's in my formulas for women who are going through menopause, because of the things that it does. It helps relax, it helps to keep them from getting cramps. It helps with the night sweats. Um, and that's about it for that. Now, like I said, you need to get that vitamin D. And here's another thing that'll help. Now, like I say, just with the echinacea vitamin D, you're 70-some% less likely to even catch it. And if you do catch it, it's not going to be as severe for you. Now, zinc can also be helpful. Now, with the vitamin D, let's get back to that for a second. Vitamin D, it's hard to get too much of it. You can. The vitamin D itself, before it could kill you or do serious harm, what it does is the vitamin D helps your body to metabolize calcium. And if you get too much vitamin D, you're liable to get too much calcium. So that's where that problem comes in. So if you are taking a lot of vitamin D, you may want to, more than normal, then you may want to cut back on calcium. And if you do get the virus, hey, yeah, I would double up on the standard dose. This is like a minimum requirement, what's in each of these. That's why today I took 2. I generally just take 1 every several days. All right, now, let's talk about this hydrochloroquine that they're wanting to give. The president's all for it. He admits he's not a doctor, but he thinks it's just great. Yeah, sure. So do a bunch of other people who are probably invested in it and all. And it's a very cheap drug, but wow, it has, and could it be helpful? Maybe at times. But it also has so many side effects. And some of those side effects are things that can make it worse. Like, what slows your heartbeat. And actually, what it has in it, the main active thing in it really is quinine, which that also comes from a plant that comes from the cinchona tree bark. And I tell you what, be much safer to chew on some bark, yeah, than to take this pharmaceutical that they're going to give you, which they figured out the compounds in there and they make it in a lab. You'd be much better off taking the bark, which is what they do use in South America. They'll take it and crush it up and usually put it in a tea, a drink, and drink it. All right. So, oh, and another thing about that, it's a potassium blocker. And that's why it slows your heart rate down. And potassium is another thing that's it's probably essential for all the cells in your body. And this thing, that particular medicine does a lot to affect that. So I wouldn't want to take it. Mr. President, if you want to take it, go ahead. Not me. I'm going to take something that's tried and true. And here's the thing, too. On these tests that they're doing to try to find vaccines, they say they're happy if they can get something that's effective 60 or 70% of the time. Then they're happy with that. But they have to prove all this stuff. Folks, this stuff's been proven for at least 400 years. Yeah, the American Indians used a lot. Then they took it back to Europe. The Europeans, this was like they loved this. And throughout the 1800s and had a resurgence in the early 1900s. And then they started coming out with pharmaceutical antibiotics. And that's when this took a little dive. But folks, I would rather take this than any antibiotics. In fact, I have the other blend that's similar to this that I've used in the place of antibiotics. And the nurse or the doctor was amazed that this stuff was cleared up so quickly. It's your own body's immune system has to do it. Oh, and while I got this here, I got this for somebody right now. But another thing about this virus, if you've had it, it tends to affect your kidneys very badly. And that could be because of all the fluids that your body's having to get rid of. Oh, all the chemical changes your body's having to make. So my number one recommendation for kidneys is dandelion root. If you've been through this, you should get this dandelion root. Or if you have kidney problems, I can't think of anything better for it. All right. So we got that. Now, I want to help people in the medical profession. And I'm going to do the Kung Flu kits. Unfortunately, I'm now out of the little tea bags. So I basically have to give it to you loose or in some other small bags. But my Kung Flu kit comes with enough of this and some extra to help someone get rid of a virus. And it comes with this to help your lungs so that you could do 2 cups of this a day and 1 cup of this if you get the virus. And that's why I'm not concerned about the virus, because I have these things. And actually yesterday, I did make myself a cup of this lung tea. And right now, here, I'm going to show you. I made some of this because I haven't had it in weeks. And I have been around people who've been infected. And I want to be sure that my immune system is good so I don't have the problem. Here, I'll show you. This is that. This is the cold comfort. I just made this earlier. This is going to go in my fridge. I drank 1 cup of it. Now I'm good. Oh, and I want to give you some advice on that. Yes. All right. After doing further research. Now, see, echinacea is safe to take every day. But a lot of people have asked me, how often should they take this? Okay. The things that it's going to do for you, it's going to cause you to create more white blood cells, more interferon. Like I say, I've covered a whole lot of that in the past. And now I forgot what I was getting at. But here's the thing. Some of these immune cells that it creates, they're designed to only live like 4 or 5 days so that you don't get too many in your system, which is like lupus. It can do harm to you. So these things are programmed to die off like around 5 days. Although if they're needed by your immune system, then you have these other cells that come up to those T cells and recharge them. It like gives them a battery jump charge where they'll live longer and they go out and do their thing. So here's what I'm getting at. To answer the question, to those of you who've already bought this or who intend to buy it, if you don't have the flu, I recommend you make you a cup of tea every 4 to 5 days. Yeah, and that's going to keep your immune system in check. It's going to keep it like on high alert. They'll be looking for stuff. So that's what you do. And then if it should hit you, like I say, then you switch to 2 cups of tea a day. Like I said, from all the viruses since 2003, it's always taken only 2 days to get rid of it, except for me. When I had the arsenic poisoning, my immune system was really bad, and I had that virus in 2003, and I didn't feel better the second day. By the end of the third day, I was fine. I don't even think I went through 6 cups of tea because it's just 2 cups of tea a day. So, folks, if you're in the medical profession, get in touch with me, and I'm going to send you a Kung Flu kit. Now, and I've had to change them a little because, like I said, I don't have the tea bags anymore. I was bagging them in these smaller bags, your single servings, which is a hassle. So probably what I'd just do is give you some bulk. And what I'm going to do while supplies last is here, I'm going to show you one. I'm going to throw in a mesh T-ball since I don't have the bags. That way you can just reach right into the bag. You fill up the bottom of this. I like to take it, stuff it a little sometimes. When you let it's self-closing, let it close up and put that down in your hot water. All right, so that's about it. Except what I'm going to tell you now is that when you get the Kung Flu kit, it comes with, like I said, I'll give you a dozen, enough to make it at least a dozen cups of the cold comfort, which you should only need 6 to get rid of the flu. So you can go ahead and drink some. This, I tell you, I should give more. I am. I'm going to give more, especially because especially for people in the medical profession. I want you to be able to take this, a cup of it every 4 or 5 days, as long as this virus is out there and you're having to be around it. And then if you need it, if you do happen to catch it, then you do it twice a day. All right, now, I keep running out of these too. But these large bags, I'll send you for $20. Or you get the Kung Flu kit where you won't get a whole bag of this. You'll get a lot less, but you're also going to get the Breath of Life tea for your lungs. And I'm going to give you extra on that so that you can, even before ever getting a flu, you can go ahead and take it and start putting your lungs in better shape. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. And I'll tell you, and here's another thing about this. Everybody, pretty much everybody who gets this calls me back at some time or another to tell me how good that it's working. These are people with COPD or congestion, asthma, that kind of thing. They call me back and they generally get it again. Yeah. Yeah. Already 3 customers now, just recently, who've gotten it. They're now and another thing, man, this tastes really good too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, well, the Breath of Life, this tastes really good. You don't need to sweeten that at all. This one, it doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. It's not sweet though. I did add a tiny bit of stevia to mine just to sweeten it up. Although what I drank without any sweetener because it is good. All right, folks, that's all I got to say for now. I'm gonna put you can order this with PayPal. Uh, just send it to my email address, which I'll put in the description below here. If you can't do that, I will give you my mailing address, and you can send a check or a money order. The the Kung Flu kit, like I said, it'll come with this also, and I'll give it to you for $20 also, and you'll get enough of this to keep you going. You get this, and you get lung tea. What I'll probably do is I'll give you at least, I'll give you enough to take care of you. I'm looking at, Because I'd rather you have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. I was going to cut the size of the Kung Flu kits from 10 bags to 8 on the Cold Comfort, and from 5 bags to 4 on the Breath of Life. But instead, I've actually been adding a little extra. Because I'd rather you have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And folks, you need to order this stuff now, before you need it and don't have it. Because I can't just run it over to you. I got to go. I got to mail it to you. It's going to take a few days. By then, you could be in bad shape. And like I said, and if you're in the medical profession, you should be taking a cup of this every 4 or 5 days. You're going to be so much better off. We're going to reduce the spread of this. We're going to reduce people dying. I wish I could give some of this to everyone on the planet. I wish I could give it to every medical professional. I just can't. I don't have the income for it. And, wow, I just hope I can continue to get these herbs, folks. You need to, better to be safe than sorry, folks. Spend the $20. Spend the $20. Your life is worth $20. Yeah. And I'd like you all to share this video. The big thing is, and like I said, anybody who's already bought this, you got my recommendations now, because everybody kept asking me, and here's the thing. Like I said, my mom was taken in an ambulance yesterday. I left them some of this tea. I've sent it to my relatives. I'm still trying to get in touch with my sister, my other sister, to send her some. But a couple of days ago, I wanted to tell my dad that not to wait. Go ahead and start drinking a cup of this every 4 or 5 days. And unfortunately, I didn't tell him, and then I got this call that my mother got taken away in an ambulance. But they don't really feel that it's the coronavirus right now. They feel it's more like an infection that she had previously. But I'm very concerned about her, because she is in the hospital now. You can't go visit people in the hospital now, even though it's not for corona. So, folks, I'd ask that you pray for my mother. I mean, she's good with it if she dies. I mean, we've had our talks already. She's good with it. I'm going to say I'm good with if she dies. Because, in fact, I was praying for her this morning. Not that I want her to die. But I know that when she dies, she's going to a better place. Because she's been a Thessalonians type of woman. She's been a good woman. All right, folks. Read your Bible. That's another thing. Read your Bible, folks. Trust in God. Yeah. Pray. Pray that this passes by you and your family. And repent from your sins. And what I hope to do, perhaps on my next video, I'm sorry I delayed this one. I've been wanting to get it out for days, because it is so important that people get these herbs now, like I said, before it's too late. One of my subscribers is in Sweden, and he got it. And he was thinking about getting the herbs, but he didn't. And I can't get it. It takes me 2 weeks to get it to Sweden. You know, I can't help him now. And I can't help you if you don't help yourself. So spend the money, folks. Send the $20. Get this stuff. Yes. Oh. And if you have any questions, just leave me a question in the comments or get in touch with me through my email. All right, that's it. This thing's gone long enough. I'll get back with you again on herbs some other time. But folks, be careful. Like I said, wash your hands. Try to stay home. And most important, get these herbs. Yeah. All right, folks. That's it. If you haven't subscribed, you ought to subscribe and hit that notification button so you'll learn more about these herbs and about God and about what's coming. All right, that's it, folks.